and welcome back to Lulu University. Class is back in session, and this week we are going to be talking about basics for creating a wonderful cover design. So pull out your notebooks and let's get started. I don't want this to come as a shock to anyone. I don't want to offend anyone by saying this, but the truth is we all judge books by their covers almost immediately. So even if you've written the best book in the world, no one's going to find it if you don't have a compelling and well-designed cover. So this is really one of those areas where you should really try to spend money and allot your resources towards. So, try to drink that cheap beer for a couple weeks, or get the Uber share instead of the Uber XL. And, maybe you'll even meet your cover designer in that Uber. But you don't have to spend thousands of dollars on a good cover, but it is really worth investing in. If you're not ready to cut that check or you haven't met the right person, then we're going to give you some tips to get started. Establish a principal focus that you want for your book cover. So what is the main theme in your book? What do you really want to highlight about the book? Look in your genre. So your genre should really help you dictate what the cover looks like, and so your readers will know what to expect. I mean, basically, at a glance, your reader should have an idea of what the book is about and what they're in for when they purchase the book. Another great tip is to shop online. Buy yourself a book. Treat yourself. But as you're looking for different books, save the ones that have covers that are really standing out to you, and you can save those on a folder in your desktop, and that can be a really helpful resource when you're going to the drawing board to design your own cover. Keep it simple. So you don't want a lot of text or images or anything to distract the reader. Every element that you have on your book cover should tell a story and draw the reader in. Find images that clarify. So this one is really going to speak to if you're using photography for your book cover, but photography is supposed to elicit emotion and make you feel a certain way. So if your book is about, a really sad trip that you took with your mom, then probably putting like a picture of a college frat party is not going to translate that. That's really going to confuse the reader. So be sure to use images that are really conveying what you want to say and that are really kind of setting that tone and that mood for the reader. Use only a few colors. So you can see that we're using a theme here. So simple, straightforward, where your reader's not going to get distracted. So if you're writing a book maybe that takes place in the fall, then a really easy way to see what colors you should be using is go to Pinterest. You're probably already looking there at some point during the day anyway, so do some research. If you just type in fall color palettes, it's going to give you a plethora of colors that you can use together that really complement each other. So be sure to use colors and palettes that, again, kind of reinforce the mood that you're going for, and be sure that the colors that you choose as the background don't wash out the text that you use on the cover. So when you've designed it and put it together, make sure that everything is really easy to read so that the reader doesn't get lost trying to decipher any words in the colors or text. Think thumbnail. So what is that? If you go on a website, if you look at Lulu's bookstore, you'll see all the books are in a small image size, and that's kind of what we refer to as a thumbnail. So think about your book in that context. So it may look great when it's in front of you on a table full of your books and it looks wonderful, but think about your reader and the journey that they're going to take to find it. So as they're scrolling through a bookstore with thousands of books in it, what is going to stand out to them? So a good tip to help you kind of think about it in this way is to shrink your cover down to that thumbnail size and see if it stands out. And make sure it doesn't have too much text or competing images so that you're getting a really clean depiction and description of your book just by glancing at the cover. Don't be afraid to use online resources or tools to help you with the design and formatting of your cover. There's a ton of stuff out there that can be really, really useful. So one of them that we really like is Canva. So this is a really awesome platform. It's a great tool. They have a ton of free templates and formats you can choose from to help you design the exact cover that you want. So once you're done designing the front and back cover, then you can just take it to another software, another tool like InDesign or Photoshop, and then you can merge those and create a spine for your book. I know that InDesign and Photoshop can seem sort of intimidating, especially if you're a novice and haven't played around with those tools, but they have free trials, so you can get in and check it out, and they also have a huge resource library that has a ton of free videos and tutorials on how to make your book cover and put it together. And then once you're done, you just bring it over to Lulu and upload. Now we've seen how to make a great cover, so let's see it in action with some Lulu book covers in the wild. First up is Chop Wood, Carry Water by Joshua Metcalf. So as you can see with this one, the title is really, really eye-catching. The colors are simple, it's not overwhelming. And what I really like about this one is if you just see this thumbnail, immediately you'll see the title and the author name. and that's what you'll be able to take away from it. Next up is The Day It Rained Forever by Lynette Greenfield. And what you'll notice about this one is something that is very characteristic of all Lynette's books, and she always does a really great job with this, but the photography is really striking. I mean, you can look at this and see that this image is really setting the mood for what the book will be about. So this is another really great example of using photography to evoke emotions before you even start the book. Last, but definitely not least, is Dream Big, Live Intentionally by Kathy Rasmussen. So this one is really nice because it's a little bit different. It doesn't have a huge image, but it has this really beautiful watercolor, which is so appropriate because this is a journal. This is an inspiration journal and a manifesting journal. So just by looking at it, you kind of feel those creative juices flowing just by the design. And then of course your title is really prominent in the front. Keep in mind, your cover may be the only chance you have to catch a reader's attention, and it might be the only thing that someone sees that's gonna help them decide if they want to pick up that book or not. So definitely invest in this one. Again, cheap beer, don't do your laundry, share Uber rides, whatever it takes to be able to spend some money on this. But if you can't, we've given you some really great tools to get you started on the right path and help you create a beautiful cover design. Be sure to hit subscribe, and we'll see you next time.